current population of Europe is 741 million people. So it isn't a surprise to say that Europe is an extremely diverse continent, with peoples and cultures stretching from the tip of the Iberian Peninsula to the Ural Mountains in Russia. One great way to analyze culture is to look at language and how its history relates to today. So today, I'm going to analyze all major European languages and hope that we can get more understanding about the broad cultures on the continent. Here is a map depicting all language families. As you can see, most languages in Europe, today, are descendants from the ancient Proto-Indo-European language that then evolved over time. There are also some Uralic, Turkic, and Caucasian languages that have limited amounts of speakers. In addition, the language Basque, located in the Pyrenees Mountains, has no correlation to Indo-European, and so is a pretty unique language. Because most European languages share the trait of being Indo-European, I will focus mainly on these languages. There are many subdivisions of Indo-European. The main subdivisions are the Romance languages, Germanic languages, and Slavic languages. However, Baltic and Celtic languages are also spoken by large groups of people. Albanian and Greek are not part of a branch of Indo-European because they are so linguistically diverse that they are considered their own branch. First, let's take a look at the Germanic languages. Germanic languages are evolved from the ancient Proto-Germanic language, and generally fall under two categories. The Northern Germanic languages are Scandinavian languages, like Norwegian, Swedish, Danish, or Icelandic, while Western languages include mainly German, Dutch, and English, as well as smaller languages like Scots or Frisian. Next, let's look at the Romance languages. The Romance languages are evolved from Proto-Italic, which then became Latin in its later years. Different dialects of Latin around the Roman Empire then became the Romance languages. The main Romance languages are French, Italian, Catalan, Castilian Spanish, Galician, Portuguese, and also Romanian way out to the east, who is sometimes forgot about. Next are the Slavic languages, and there are a lot. Both Slavic languages and the Baltic languages, who we will talk about later, are evolved from the Balto-Slavic language, and the Slavic languages specifically are from Proto-Slavic. The Slavic languages are then separated in three different directions. Near the ex-Soviet Union, Eastern Slavic languages are spoken, such as Russian, Ukrainian, and Belarusian. The Western Slavic languages include Polish, Czech, and Slovak. Lastly, the South Slavic languages include Slovenian, Macedonian, Bulgarian, and Serbo-Croatian, which is actually many languages that are so similar that they blur the line between language and dialect. The Baltic languages are somewhat similar to the Slavic languages because they share the common ancestor of Proto-Balto-Slavic, but they are also very linguistically distinct. There are only two Baltic languages with significant numbers of native speakers. Those languages are Latvian and Lithuanian. Next are the Celtic languages, which used to be widespread, but not so much anymore. Speakers of older Celtic languages used to cover the continent, spreading outward from the Alps. But because of the expulsion from the Romans, only small pockets of speakers exist in Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and Brittany, who all have their own distinct Celtic language. So, we have covered all of the Indo-European languages in Europe, but as you saw at the beginning, not all European languages are Indo-European. There are also prominent areas that speak Uralic languages as a majority. There are 38 Uralic languages, and the majority of them are in Inner Russia, but I am only going to talk about the few important ones. First is Hungarian, which is an interesting anomaly, because the Hungarian ancestors migrated from Russia in the 9th century, which is what gives them their Uralic heritage. Next is Finnish, which is the second most spoken Uralic language, and is linguistically similar to Karelian and Estonian nearby. Last but not least is Sami, which is spoken by the native Sami people in northern Scandinavia. And there we go. Those are all the languages of Europe, explained and categorized. Keep in mind that there are other languages that have fewer speakers that I chose to leave out of this video because of their lack of relevance. If this video does well enough, I plan to make a similar video about the culturally distinct African languages, so make sure to subscribe to be notified of when I do so.